Thank you so much for staying tuned to this channel. Welcome to yet another edition of Africa Discourse. I am Wilson Omasho. Today, it is all about the civil war in Ethiopia. Yes, a region Tigray, like said, that they want to be on their own because of the way the center is behaving. The Prime Minister, having seen the situation, choose to go to the war front also dressed in full regalia of a military man. And the latest is that workers, athletes, common men, even women that are well-to-do, they are all marching to the front line to defend Ethiopia from Tigray military personnel. Like Tigray chose to merge with another group. They've gotten stronger. And they are threatening Ethiopia, saying they are coming also to sack the capital of Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. This civil war on the ground, is there an end in sight? My analyst will throw more light on this. With me in the studio, he is a legal practitioner, human rights activist, political analyst. We'll talk about local and international affairs as well. Granted, join me to welcome Barrister Emmanuel Obakpalo. Barrister, welcome to Africa Discourse.
Good afternoon, Nigerians, and good afternoon, Africa.
All right.
Pleasure being here.
Ethiopia, yes. How did they get here to the extent that everyone is being mobilized, even mobilizing themselves to go to the war front to defend their country from external, in quote right now, aggression?
Sometimes we're here and we did warn that the Prime Minister should tread with caution. Should rather toe the line of peace than the line of war. And because himself rode on the back of the people now, the people in quotes now, the Tigrans, whom he now sees as enemies, were once upon a time his allies, who also assisted him, particularly in 2016, during the anti-military protest. The Tigrans and other Ethiopians were instrumental to the success of Abiy Ahmed becoming the Prime Minister of Ethiopia just now in 2018. And when the problem started, so many other countries warned that he should tread cautiously, because the most difficult war to fight is when you fight your own people, the people who know you very well. We've seen situations in Africa where some African leaders choose to declare some of their own persons, the persons they are governed, as enemies. And at the end of the day, the outcome of such disputes, which metamorphose into what is known as civil war, does not favor them, or did not favor them, as it were. Some very good example of that is Libya. We saw what happened in Libya and how Muammar Gaddafi was now a victim because it was his own people that fought him. Now, Ethiopia is an ally of America. The question now is, why is America not saying anything?
We'll get there. We'll get to that aspect. Right now, we're still focusing more on what led to the internal wrangling. People like saying that it's because Albert, so to speak, is not really the listening type or one hand. While on the other hand, they are saying the Prime Minister wants an Ethiopia that is unified against all odds. Forget about the constitution, forget about the written agreement, that they are stronger together. But the Tigrans are trying to divide Ethiopia. If you are called to really take a look at this matter from both angles, what do you think can come out of it? Trying to make Ethiopia bigger, stronger? You have to be one with the center rather than doing things on your own, because that's what this man stands for. Because it all began about the electionary campaign, election this, election that. The Prime Minister says no, and the thing just snowballed into something else. is it wrong in taking that decision?
It was wrong, because looking at Ethiopia and from the litmus test they had with Eritrea. Eritrea used to be part of Ethiopia. But today Eritrea is an entity of its own. She's standing by herself as a country of our own now. What Abiy Ahmed would have done, he would have learned from the experience of Ethiopia-Eritrea war and the breakaway of Eritrea from Ethiopia. He would have learned from it. But he didn't learn from it because probably, quotes now, and with all due respect to him, himself used to be a rebel. Particularly in 2016, we saw how himself led the anti-government protests. And now, because that's mentality of being a Nimrod, so to speak. A Nimrod is a rebel, somebody that's rebellious. And now, himself choose to say, oh, I'm a rebel, I know how to play the game, so anything I want to do, I do it. But he forgot that the same persons the Tigrants, the same persons who are now saying no to what he is doing, were the same persons who assisted him.
Who supported him.
Yes, to getting to where he is today. He forgot that. And he now declared them enemy. But if you look at the situation just now, you see that the thing is getting out of hand. The people are now pushing. From the south, they are coming. From the east, through in Djibouti. In Djibouti is now an ally of Tigray, even including Kenya. You see, they are all silent. That is to tell you that when a man is not speaking against something, the man is in total support of that thing. So everybody now, all once upon a time, the ally or allies of Ethiopia are now, they've now left Abiy Ahmed. They are now with Tigray. And now, so the war is not like he did anticipate from the beginning. The war is getting more tense, is getting more technological, more scientific, is getting more utopian, so to speak, because he can no longer see, because he does not have control of what is on ground. So he does not see beyond his nose as he stands. He cannot fathom what the outcome of what is transpiring now in Ethiopia. And that's why, you know what he did? He now himself declared himself the commander-in-chief. And he has taken up the military regalia. He said he will be at the front of the war. And also he has declared the Tigrants enemies. And he has declared a state of emergency. See the steps he is taking. One, declaring a state of emergency. That alone spells out that there is war. Two, you declare a part of you an enemy. Three, he has also forcefully asked Ethiopians to take to arms to defend the state.
Was it forceful? Because right now it's like they're coming in to join the army voluntarily.
The people, no, they are not coming to join voluntarily, because himself knew that the thing is slipping off his hands. So he now has to call on Ethiopians. And the call is not a call of sympathy. The call is not a call of togetherness. But rather, the call is a call of force. If you don't take to arms, you'll be killed. I will not protect you. I will protect myself. I will protect other parts. So the people now saw it. Okay, let us think. We feel that let us join him. So, and now the people are taking the war to him as it stands just now. They are not just because they have made up their mind, and they've declared that the capital Addis Ababa will be captured in few days' time. And the people are coming. Unlike when the war started, he took the war to them, wherein he declared a military campaign. He took the war to them. But now they are taking the war to him. So there is a reversal of the whole situation now. So himself has lost control. So now what will he do? The military, he has looked at the military, perhaps maybe by numerical strength. He has discovered that the military may not be able to stand. So in that instance, and for him to still tell the world that, look, I'm in charge, he has to forcefully ask other Ethiopians to join
him.
Civilians who don't know what is happening, civilians that are not rebels, civilians that have not taken up arms. But today now, he has made them to take up arms. But the question now is that the solution to this? And two, what is the African Union doing at this time? Addis Ababa is the capital of African Union. Is the headquarters, so to speak.
We are
so
coming
what
to
are
that.
They doing now?
Lots of questions just keep on coming up in this discussion, because right now it's like a one-man thing, trying to force others, or will I say cajole others, to join him in the campaign of defending the capital of Ethiopia, which is Addis Ababa. Now, if you take a look at the situation from what he said, he said he's fighting for the unity of Ethiopia. That's what he said, but in a way, it's not making sense.
Those who fought, who claimed to fight for the unity of Ethiopia when Eritrea demanded to be seceded, did they also make a right decision or choice, as it were? See, something must have propelled the people to say, we don't want to be with you again. Something must have prepared them. And we saying, I want to tell you that one of the things that have propelled the people is injustice. When there is so much injustice, there is a river that is in Tigray.
Yeah.
A river. That river is one of the economic strengths of Ethiopia. Now, the Ethiopian government has full control of that river. Then the people who are the owners are justly treated. That is one. Two, the distribution of natural resources in Ethiopia, is it equitably distributed? Now, the treatment you give to all Ethiopians, is it equal? So by the time the people feel, the people now see that, look, we are not justly treated. Then the people now said, no, let us fight. We'd rather die than to live and be under the whims and caprices of these persons, wherein they chain us and they treat us as slaves in our land. So that is the issue that has propelled all of this. Now, a reasonable government, in a situation where you see that the people are not feeling bad, what do? Is to appease these people. Okay, come, let's sit on a round table. What are your grievances? What do you want? They sit, even if it is a mere promise, which most African governments do today. African governments are experts in mere promises. And when they promise, they don't keep to their promises. So, but in the case of Ethiopia, even if it were a mere promise, you would have given to these persons. Perhaps that would have calmed nerves. But in a situation where you tell them, look, go to hell, we don't give a damn, anything can happen. The people say, okay, since anything can happen, we'd rather die. And that was why they learned from the experience of Eritrea. And like I did say, some of the countries who are surround Ethiopia, you can see that countries like in Djibouti, countries like Kenya, and others.
Now that's the Eastern Bloc.
Yes, the Eastern Bloc.
It's like they are quiet.
They are quiet
because they've been talking. And so all of a sudden they didn't say anything anymore.
You know, when they started,
what does that depict?
When the problem started, they warned him. They told him, come, toe the line of peace. But the man said, no, I'm a rebel, and as such, I can have whatever I want to get. And that is the problem he fought against once upon a time. He fought against in 2016. By 2018, he became the head of government of Ethiopia. Did he solve that problem? No! Instead, he increased the problem. And that is what most African governments are good at. You will see them, they will tell the people this, they will say this, they will be pointing at the errors of those who are in power. They are specialists in that. And at the end of the day, when they now gain the reins of power, they will now sit tight and tell you, go to hell. So, he has made the mistake. And now those who are supposed to intervene, to come in, are now silent. I tell you, we see those who are silent, they are not just silent for nothing. They are in support of the opposition.
But they never said they are in support of the
opposition. They will not.
They never said anything about the opposition.
Yes, they will not.
They're covering for peace, that there should be peace in Ethiopia, because take it or leave it is affecting the regions also.
But it will be a source of business to others. That is one problem about war. When a country is in war, particularly a civil war, those countries who are bordered by that country, they benefit.
In what ways?
Arms. You see proliferation of arms. You see arms coming through the question is, where are they getting the arms they have now? If those countries shut the borders and said, no, we don't want anybody to come into our country, then you will see that perhaps these rebels, like he called them, these enemies of Ethiopia now, just like Abiy Ahmed has tagged them, maybe they would have surrendered. But in a situation where they have access to arms, easy access to arms, they will tell you we will die. And perhaps they may even have manpower support from these people. Yet the people are silent. Yet the people may be pretending to say, oh, you see, it's better to go to toe the line of peace. Please, you people should do peace because it's affecting us. But on the other side of it, on the other leg of it, they are beneficiaries. Because they will make money and they will boost their economy, so to speak, if they didn't allow it to go into the hands of private individuals, as we have seen in Africa.
All right, now taking a look at the incorporation of farmers, athletes, professionals into the Ethiopian army. I mean, does that really make sense? You saw the clip where farmers, they're just sitting down with their guns, they're looking at saying, untrained persons, you just arm them, go to the war front. Is that not suicidal?
That is the disadvantage of civil war. Because when there is civil war, everybody is affected. Every citizen is affected. And that's why most times we do advise that African leaders should be careful. Having power at your disposal does not mean you are a demigod. Because you may also be a victim. The persons whom you have taken the war to, or who have taken the war to you, may also be victims as it stands. So carefulness, justice, equity, peace must be the language of every African leader. We are discussing Ethiopia now. We don't know the next country we may come to discuss. So that's why African leaders should be careful, because the development, the growth of science and technology does not favor only one man. It favors every person. Today, if you go to interiors, villages, you see people with handsets. And that is how they get information. So by the time they have access to information, then they have access to every other thing you can think of. So, but in a situation where we practice justice and we treat people justly, we practice equity in everything we do, there's equitable distribution of the natural resources that Mother Nature has blessed us with. There is the language, the body language, and the word spoken of peace. Everybody will say, oh, this man is a peaceful man. This president, this leader, this prime minister, this governor, this councillor is a peaceful man. By the time the people tag a leader a peaceful man, the same people wouldn't want to disturb his reign. Also, we see, the time the people tag a leader, oh, this man is sentimental. This man is religious. This man favors one ethnic group than others. Then the language of war is coming up. But the drum of war is being beaten.
Was that a mistake of Abiy in this regard?
That was a mistake. When the people complained, the Tigers complained. What did they do? From the beginning, I remember we were in this program some time ago, sometime between June, July, August. We did advise that Abiy Ahmed should toe the line of peace. As at that time, the people were only recouping. The people were coming together. At a point, the people went back. When the government force from Addis Ababa came after them, they went back. You saw them, they were helpless. But suddenly, they picked up again. Professionals from that place picked up. Illiterates picked up. Artisans picked up. And they say, no, this is justice done to us. It's too much. We cannot sit here and our future is taken away from us. A man that does not have today cannot have tomorrow. So when they saw that even their today is not guaranteed, will they be talking about the future? No. So they now said, we are going to do something about this. And most times, when you hear a people say we are going to do something about this situation, know that there is going to be war.
Wow.
So, and it's a difficult one, like I tell you, because one, they understand the terrain. Two, they understand the language. Three, they understand the government. Four, they have access to get into the government. So that is a difficult one. So I hope and pray that Abiy Ahmed should listen to wise counsel.
All right. Now, their target is the capital of Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. Are we going to see what happened in Afghanistan where Taliban ran over the government? We're going to say the Tigrans running over the government of Ethiopia, because right now they are advancing. And according to many reports, it's like Abiy Ahmed is just hanging on to something by bringing forth personalities to be a shield to protect the capital. Do you see it happening?
It may not be in that manner. It may not be in that manner or form of what happened in Afghanistan. It may not be in that manner or form. Because looking at the situation, is a different one. It's a different terrain. Two, is a different... The problem just now in Ethiopia is not tied to religion. And that is the saving grace. Yes, it's not tied to religion. It's tied to our rights, the rights of the people.
The emancipation, so to speak.
Yes, emancipation. So, but like that of Afghanistan, is tied to religion. So that's why you saw that it was easier to get to the capital and to capture the presidential villa. But in this manner, in Ethiopia, it may not be like that. There may still be some, even if they are going to succeed to getting into the capital and eventually capture the capital, it is going to take a lot of time. Because what that will simply means is that you must capture everybody, including Abiy Ahmed. And I do know that some of those persons who are silent now, the international community that are silent now, may at that point want to come in to see how they can broker peace. But the question I ask is, why is it that we humans, we wait until when something is out of hand, then we now come and start say we want to preach peace. Particularly when it has to do with politics, international politics, local politics, national politics, we wait. But a reasonable man, like I did say in my introduction, should be somebody that should, in the first place, not allow situations like this
to degenerate to this extent.
Yes.
All right, right now you mentioned America being an ally of Ethiopia. People are saying that America is doing little or nothing in this situation. Though Joe Biden made a statement, apart from that, it's like the statement of Joe Biden fell on deaf ears. Do you see America intervening in this situation?
Like I just said, I see America coming towards the ending. But before America, like I did say in my introduction, Ethiopia is an ally of America.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that Ethiopia is an ally of America, Ethiopia is not a state with the capital S now in America, in the United States of America. Rather, Ethiopia is a state with the capital S in Africa.
In Africa.
And AU, African Union, is resident in Ethiopia.
The capital Addis Ababa.
Yes, is resident there. So the question now is, the the Africa as a continent and our union, what have they been able to do first? It is when they made several attempts, taking several steps that are now not seeing the light of success, that maybe they can now call for international intervention, as it were. But even African states, I'm sorry, I have not seen them taking that step just now. Maybe they took it behind the scene. And Abiy Ahmed, as his character is, refused to listen. But even there, Abiy Ahmed refused to listen. Then they would have considered the citizens of Ethiopia, who by extension are the citizens of Africa. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Now, they would have, because of that, maybe intervene. We saw when Nigeria, once upon a time, there was problem in a West African state, 2 states, Liberia and Sierra Leone. Nigeria came up with this brilliant idea of ECOMOG. And we saw that ECOMOG was able to quell or put a stop to the dastardly acts or the killings of Liberians and Sierra Leoneans, because in the first place, they are citizens of this country, and by extension, like I said, citizens of West African region. Then citizens of Africa as a continent.
But at this time, this is the Eastern Bloc.
Yes, the Eastern Bloc have not been able to come up with that. Maybe financial situation. Yes, maybe 1. 2, if you look at the world now, like the world is still going through, we hear every day COVID-19, we hear of different variants, we hear of different things, and some other countries in Africa are really facing tough times, so to speak. That is the reason why I may not want to finger the regions, because they may financially, they may not have that strength. Numerically, when it has to military, they may not have that strength. Then the region, and for those, and we see there is going to be problem in Ethiopia. You know why? Because even the superpower states, quotes now, of Africa, they have their own challenges just now. They are barricaded with so many challenges. Take for instance Nigeria. Nigeria is barricaded with so many challenges. Insurgency, this and that. You hear different stories emanating.
It's like everybody fighting their own battle
now,
and nobody has time for Ethiopia.
So the concentration now is on how do I survive my own challenges. So there will be less concentration to Ethiopia. But be it as it may, for goodness sake, we are talking of the state that houses African Union headquarters. We are talking of that. So, if for nothing, but because African Union headquarters is resident in Addis Ababa, in Ethiopia, then all African countries should come up to see how they can broker peace and rescue Ethiopia.
How they can broker peace and rescue Ethiopia. After all, AU's headquarters is in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and we've not heard concrete evidence or seen concrete evidence that the union is coming together to really broker peace, or they are saying their advice is falling on deaf ears. Are we expecting AU to back him up in all of this?
You shouldn't expect that, because he didn't listen to voice of wisdom from the beginning. He didn't. The man, like I said, the man is a Nimrod. He's a rebel. He's a very stubborn person. But he forgot that stubbornness is not resident only in one person. Every human you see, man by nature, is a stubborn being. And even God himself acknowledges that, that man is a stubborn being. So when you are dealing with more than one person, and you are proving to be very difficult, do also understand that the persons you are dealing with may also be as stubborn as you. Particularly in hard times, as most countries globally and most countries in Africa are going through, because much money is being spent on health ground just now. Much money is being spent on the acquisition of weapons. You see, every country is now preparing as if the world is going to crumble in a few time, preparing, getting weapons. Then you also have this threat of insurgency.
Yeah.
And insurgency thrives more in very poor countries, because the citizens, the likelihood of the citizens to join the insurgents
is high.
as a means to survive is very high. So, and most African countries are very poor countries, not naturally, but because our leaders mismanage Africa. Africa naturally is blessed, even more than the so-called superpower nations. But the mismanagement of Africa is causing her to be in a very difficult times and very difficult situation as she finds herself just now. So, but the reasonability of our leaders is so shallow to the extent that they don't envisage a situation where when you treat some person or persons unjustly, the persons may resolve to defending themselves. So that self-defense propels civil war. By the time I am treated unjustly by Wilson, and I know that Wilson is in charge of what belongs to me, and after some time I'll say, okay, since Wilson is proving to be very difficult, let me take it by force. So in that instance, there will be what? War. Civil war. So that is the problem now, just now in Ethiopia. And like I did say, Ethiopia refused to learn from the experience they had with Eritrea. So I see a situation, I said it here some time ago, I see a situation where finally Tigrants or Tigrants,
yes,
may succeed just like Eritrea. Because by the time...
hold on. You said they may succeed. How? Because right now, they've forgotten about their own land. They are marching towards the capital. Is that not a disadvantage when you talk about war strategy? Because the aim is to protect their own land. The aim is for them to be alone. What do they have to prove by going to Addis Ababa to sack Addis Ababa? Does it really make sense from calculation?
What these men are doing is that the best form of defense is to attack. They may get to a point and say, okay, let's retreat. They are also looking at it. They are also looking at a situation where they will say, Tigray is a very small area in terms of landmarks, though they are bordered from the desert area, just like Eritrea too. But they are also looking at, we can add 1 or 2 regions to us.
Make it bigger.
Yes. And by the time they succeed in convincing or confusing or both of 1 or 2 regions to join them, they'll say, okay, now we can be bigger. So at this instance, we will not go further with the war. Let us also say we want a country of our own, just like Eritrea. That was what Eritrea did. Eritrea did not just start by saying, oh, we want war. No, we want to stand. No, they first of all gave some excuses. We are unjustly treated. We are unjustly treated. Okay, we will fight. And they started. After some time, they began to gain some ground space. They began to take some space.
Is that what Tigray is doing right now?
That is what they are doing just now. Because, you know, when this problem started, Eritrea took the war to them.
Ethiopia took the war to them?
Yes. they leaned back somehow when they saw that if we go into this thing, they were, first of all, they were defending themselves, their territory. So, but the force of Ethiopia was coming, facing them, and then I said, okay, let us lean back. But the Ethiopian government thought leaning back was total surrender. No, the men did not surrender. They went back and prepared themselves, and probably got confidence, the confidence of one or two regions, to say, the people will say, if you can do like this, we will come behind you, we will give you support. Like I said, report has it in Djibouti is in total support of Tigray.
All right, is in total support of Tigray, talking about Djibouti, and they have one other region. They've come together, and their aim, according to them, is to sack Addis Ababa, which is the capital of Ethiopia, and of course the capital right now of the African Union. The war rages on, but is there an end in sight to this war?
Just now, I do not see an end, because Abiy Ahmed is saying, I will fight. The language of I will fight, for me, is unreasonable. The language of I declare Tigrans as enemy is unreasonable. The language of declaring state of emergency in Ethiopia is unreasonable. He didn't declare state of emergency when COVID-19 was ravaging his country. He didn't declare state of emergency. When poverty was tearing them at the face, he didn't declare state of emergency. But now that there is problem, war, tagged civil war, quotes now, he is not declaring a state of emergency. So that alone, and because he's a proud man, I don't see a situation where himself may want to lean back. So himself may be saying, let me go forward like Goliath to threaten the people. But he also forgot that these Tigrans may be little David that may surprise him. So the Tigrans, and I say, okay, hence this man is pushing forward. We too will push forward. Because defending their territory alone, and they allow the man to take the war to them, they may collapse. So they are not saying, instead of we relaxing and him taking the war to us, let's also take the war to him. Then we will meet at a point where everything will crumble. But I do know, man by nature, and particularly Africans, you know, Africans are very peaceful people. Africans don't, what they are doing in Ethiopia is not the African nature. We don't really like war. We don't really like problems. Africans are people who naturally are satisfied with what Mother Nature blesses them with. But mismanagement over the decades and probably century, as the case may be, is causing us a lot of challenges. And the people are in abject poverty. The people are in pain. And once a man is in pain, the reaction of that man may not be a palatable one, may not be one that will be accepted. And that is the situation just now. So him, Abiy Ahmed, taking the war to them, the Tigrans also taking the war to him, there is going to be a point where they will meet. And that point may be the point of decision. Because by the time they meet somewhere, and he now sees that, these people are really coming. Myself are really coming. Even some of those civilians, those farmers, you can see from the clip we saw, they are tired. They are tired. Some of them are not sitting in their farms to say, let me go and mind my business. So by the time all of these persons start leaving him alone cannot fight the fight. He cannot. So it is going to be that point where there may be a retreat. And I do hope he retreats and the Tigrans too retreat.
Now, even if they retreat, do you think Ethiopia will remain the same?
No, it is never going to be the same again. So that is when there may be a call for political freedom by the Tigrans. Just now, they are not saying that. But I do know and believe that they have that at the back of their mind. That look, the essence of this war, the essence of this program we are carrying out now is to see how we are going to gain political freedom. And from the side of Abiy Ahmed, it is dramatic. Because as a leader that doesn't listen, I hope he may not be the sacrificial victim in this war.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister Emmanuel Obakolo. We have so much to do in the studio. I'm getting struck signal to call it a wrap right now on this show. Which advice do you have for the Tigrans? And of course, Abiy Ahmed, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, if there should be an end to sight in this war?
Abiy Ahmed there is still time to toe the line of peace. There is still time. He should know better than some of us with regards to the Tigrans. He knows them. He understands them. He knows what they want. He knows what they can do. Because once upon a time, like I did say, he rode on their back to get to where he is today. So he can, at a point, say, oh, I don't want war again. But maybe if he is looking at it and say, oh, I'm the commander-in-chief, I have the military under my control, that may not be favorable to him. Therefore, the Tigrans, they should also look for a political solution to all of the drama they are going through now.
Because from what they said, it all started politically. We want to come to our election. You said no. So where's political going to comment from? Yes. Because that's what they fought for. Allow us to conduct our own election. That was the genesis of all this palaver.
Yes. So you cannot see that. Wow. Hence, the problem started politically. The solution will also be political.
But Ethiopia will not be the same again.
It will not. It will not.
All right. You've heard Barrister Emmanuel Obakolo, top-notch analyst, talking about the Ethiopian war. There's an end in sight. You heard everything he talked about. Let's see how this will all pan out. The Tigrans, they are approaching. Ethiopians, they are approaching. If they get to that midpoint, what do you think will happen? Only time will tell. Ours is to report back to you. See you tomorrow, God willing, on International Forum. Bye for now.